Hello and welcome to A Dad Reads with me, David. Now, I am a bit tired because I've been working so hard and long hours. I really should switch off, but I've got a story for you. And this storybook character, I wish I had her energy because she's a bit, well, you'll see for yourself. Today's story is called Wild Violet. She's now Shrinking Violet, and it's written by Alex Latimer and illustrated by Patrick Latimer. So let's read it and find out what makes Violet a wild violet, shall we? Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to like the video. And if you are liking these videos, you can always share it as well with friends or family. And I do want to hear from you in the comments too. Okay, so Wild Violet. Violet was born wild. It won't last long, people said. She'll be as good as gold by the time she turns 3. But Violet turned 3. Then she turned 4. And she was as wild as ever. She refused to wash. Her face was always dirty and her hair was filled with bits of food and twigs from climbing trees. She ate her dinner with her hands and slurped her cereal straight from the bowl. She growled at the dog and drew on the walls and stayed up all night shrieking. Her parents were exhausted, so they called Violet's grandmother and begged her to take Violet for one afternoon. "We just want to take a nap," they cried. Violet's gran thought that a visit to the zoo would do her good. "The fresh air is calming," she said, "and sometimes I like to sit and watch the birds in the duck pond." But the zoo animals just showed Violet how to be even wilder. The last enclosure they visited was the monkey house, and by then Gran was exhausted too. In fact, she was so exhausted that when she reached for Violet's hand to take her home, she took the hand of a monkey instead. And worst of all, Gran didn't even notice. When Gran buckled Violet into the car, Violet wiggled and kicked. It wasn't unusual. And while Gran drove home, Violet scratched at the upholstery, just like she always did. And when she dropped Violet off with her parents, she yelled and shrieked, typical Violet. But here is the wildest part of this story. Violet's parents didn't notice either. The monkey had bits of food and twigs in its hair. He ate his lunch with his hands. He growled at the dog and drew on the walls and shrieked all afternoon. So Violet's parents bathed him and fed him and put him to bed. Back at the zoo, Violet was having a wonderful time too. She loved living with the monkeys. They shrieked and kicked and bit and climbed. They threw litter at each other and dribbled water out of their mouths. They drew with mud on the walls and they ate their food with their feet. "This is great," said Violet. "I'll stay here forever." But that night, Violet couldn't sleep. No one had tidied up all the mess that she had made or mopped up the water she had splashed. The hay was cold and damp, and none of the monkeys knew how to read her bedtime story or tuck her in. In the morning, there was no warm bath or tasty breakfast, or a hug or a kiss from Mum and Dad. She began to miss her home and her parents. Of course, it didn't take the zoo people long to notice that something was wrong. The zookeeper phoned Violet's mum and dad. "Your daughter is living in our monkey enclosure. I think you have one of our monkeys." Violet's mum and dad were shocked and embarrassed. I would be too. They buckled the monkey into the car and raced down to the zoo. And you know what they found in the monkey cage? They found a girl with neatly brushed hair and her face washed clean. A girl who didn't screech or hit or kick or bite. Mum, Dad, I missed you. I don't like being wild and I don't like being dirty. I want to go home and have a bath and eat with a fork and sleep in my own warm bed. And so they said goodbye to the monkey, who had missed his own mum and dad too, and they drove home. Violet didn't bite or scratch in the car. She didn't growl at the dog or draw on the walls or shriek all night long. She was very well behaved from then on. But some days, and you mustn't tell anyone, Violet's mum takes her to the zoo and she has a play date with the monkeys. Because even though she behaves and listens to her parents and does all her schoolwork, she's still quite wild inside. And that's okay. So what did you think of that story? I think it's a bit of a funny one. Yeah. Are you a bit wild like that? Do you bark at dogs? Do you draw on the walls? I hope you don't do any of that. I mean, there's some food you can eat with your hands, but it's better to eat with a knife and fork. It's cleaner. So yeah, tell me what you think of this story in the comments. And remember to subscribe and to like the video. Until next time, bye for now.